There is another team in Stark County that I will say I have absolutely no hesitancy at all about the fact that I think they can go to Dayton and maybe go get a state championship in Division II. And that's the Massillon Washington Tigers, who are 13-1. They can score. They can defend. They're fun to watch. They are fun to watch. And they're still getting better. They're 14 games into the season, and they're getting better. That's a scary thing for some teams around here coming up. I can tell you that. That's scary. Coach, all set to go? All right, Coach is all set to go. Let's bring on Josh Hose, the outstanding head basketball coach of the Massillon Tigers, kind enough to join us here on 1310 WDPN. Coach, happy Tuesday. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Sam. How you doing? Sorry.
I'm good. Hey, we're good. Hey, congrats on the start. Oh, not a start. Heck, the season's almost over. 13-1. You guys are playing so well. You had another nice win on Sunday. You got Akron East tonight. You got some big ones coming up here down the road. How you feeling about your club now, 14 games in out of the 22? What sticks out most to you?
Well, something we've been talking to the guys about is just consistency and, the development of just that high standard that you play with, when we're playing in Ursuline, when we're playing at Hawken, Alliance, et cetera, those teams, and Hoover, and we haven't. No, it's nothing against the other teams, but sometimes you get those, you're not in the league, so you just get those games. It's just another game on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We kind of go through the motions at times, but I think every team probably has that. I talked to Coach Bluey here after they beat Jackson. They played in their classic here, and they kind of looked like they were just a little bit, hungover, and it's just hard to get the kids up emotionally for games. So that's one thing we just keep challenging them to do is just play at the highest standard, especially on the defensive end. We've had lapses there. Offensively, I think it takes care of itself if you take care of the defensive end. But I had a coach, used to coach here, Bob Winters, reached out to me, and he made a comment about, a guy had told him once that, every team is not going to play, most teams are not going to play their best every night. And
right,
good teams got to figure a way to win when they're not playing their best. And we're doing that right now. It's flirt with danger at times, but really good credit to our kids. They grind and they find ways to get it together in time to, put it run together and get us back in the game or get us a lead.
Now, you guys are on a really nice win streak. You haven't lost since December the 23rd. And I want to go back to that Ursuline game. Mother Nature was on my crap list. I'm going to tell you, we were all set to come over there. I was going to do my show in the gym that afternoon. We were going to do the Ursuline game. And then the weather happened, and you guys had to move it, and we couldn't do it Wednesday. And you guys get out there and you drop 100. How impressed were you with your kids that night and how they played against that competition?
Well, Ursuline put on us last year, and I apologize. It actually wasn't Mother Nature; it was the HVAC system here. We walked in the gym, and Bubba said it's like 40 degrees in there. But we would have loved to have you guys. But going against Ursuline, I mean, every year it's a battle with them. And so they took it to us up there last year. We didn't play well. It was another weather game. I mean, we had, drove up through a blizzard on the way up there, had some bus legs, and they just took it to us. And so, to play against a team that's got 2,000-point scores and they're only juniors and, a kid caliber, Jalen Gunther, and a really, really solid, well-coached team. I was impressed. I looked up. I told our coaches I didn't expect that result. I expected us to compete and have a chance to win. I didn't expect us to be able to go, get a 20-point win against the. And actually, what impressed me was that we kind of were able to wear them down throughout the game. And I think what helped us is our 6 guards being able to switch off on Gunther. Not a lot of teams have that, and so I think we were able to kind of, as he scored 30 against us, kind of keep him, somewhat, working hard to get those points. But that was a good win for us against a team every year against them. It's a battle.
Oh yeah, I mean Keith's been there for a long time, and they just got kids, man. They play hard, home and away. They're not afraid to. They don't duck anybody. You know what I mean? No. They play everybody they can, and that was a terrific win for you guys. And then you come back, you rip off wins against Perry, Harding, and Hawken. And then, you got East, Ellett, Worcester, McKinley coming up, Lake. You got a lot of games coming up here in a short amount of time. I imagine that's good, though, right? Because you can stay in a rhythm, even though it might be a little, take a little toll on the legs a little bit.
I agree. That's what we took Saturday off, actually, after the Friday game before we played Hawken. It was the debate. I was kind of kicking around in my head, but I really thought we just needed rest. Our style of play, our main guys are playing a lot of minutes, so we just thought it was probably a good thing to come in fresh. It's one of those things, if it works out, great. If not, you're kicking yourself. But, I was optimistic that we'd come in there fresh and we play well, and we did. And, that stretch there that we had off, I think from Perry to Warren, with the snow days and everything, I think that's a little bit of the lethargicness we showed on the floor that night was, like you said, you're out of rhythm. You hear the pro guys say they hate those long breaks. They get in a rhythm. You kind of follow along with your lifts and your practice plans and you're just et cetera. So we'll get a stretch here. We're going to really get challenged. Coming off a big win against a really good Hawken team on Sunday. We told our guys these next couple are key going into some big ones down the road, not getting ahead of ourselves. But yeah, we finished on a crescendo. Last year, I think our schedule, not by design, just we had some teams that were struggling down the stretch, and I think it hurt us getting into the tournament.
Yep.
So this year, I think we'll be battle tested, hopefully ready to go come March.
Yeah, I mean, I like your schedule, how it ends down the road. You're gonna get challenged. You're gonna have some big crowds, some loud environments. I know the kids will feed off of that, and that'll be good for the program as a whole. Josh Hose is our guest, head basketball coach of the Massillon Tigers, joining us here on the Sam Berkwin Show, 1310 WDPN, and of course all of our social media platforms. With the Tigers, you got 8 games to go. Some teams are down to 4 and maybe 5. And I just talked to Chet over Alliance. He says they're starting to ramp practices down a little bit, taking maybe a half hour off of it. You guys probably aren't there yet, are you?
We're going to get there. Like we just said with our schedule. I mean, for us, with being a late start with football, and then also having the week later with the tournament with D1, D2, we were able to bump a couple games back. I know when we talked to Jackson, we were like, hey, originally we were going to play the 20th, and then we were able to bump that back. DeBevic said, like, hey, let's go a week later so we don't have this long gap. And he actually filled that 20th date with Glen Oak. It was supposed to be our opener. So, we got some bigger school, like you said, opponents with some local ties that will have some good crowds, but it will definitely get us ready for the tournament. The good thing is we're not playing somebody we could turn around and play in a couple of weeks, or a week.
Right.
So it'll be good for both teams that way. But yeah, we're still, we're kind of slowing it down. Yesterday was a little bit lighter practice with having game day off, another game. So yeah, we kind of adjusted, but yeah, hour and a half is kind of where people end up about this time of year, and it's kind of smart because we got a lot of guys. 6 of our 12 guys were in a long football season too, so we got to definitely monitor that and take care of their legs.
Do you guys as a staff, have you started to maybe look ahead a little bit to the tournament drawings themselves? You kind of got an idea where you might be. Do you think about where you want to go, the brackets and things like that, or is it still a little bit too early for you?
I think all coaches start to look at just kind of things shaking out, but with the new format, it can change a little bit from night to night. As you look at it with the computer points. So we kind of eyeball some things, some teams we might match up well with, some teams we may not match up well with. So being a higher seed is a blessing and a curse at times because you go on and then you got to just kind of wait. We went through that last year, where sometimes you're in that like mid high seed that you 8, 9, 10, where you can kind of pick a team that you go in that bracket. So we kind of looked at it, and we got 7 divisions or districts that we can go into in the Northeast district. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that shakes out. There's a variable there with the one bracket goes out and plays one of the Northwest brackets. So you're looking at like maybe a St. John's or a Lima Senior, both really good teams. So, but you get to that point, you're playing somebody good anyways to go down to Wright State and Dayton. So you kind of roll the dice at that point.
Josh Hose is our guest, Massillon head basketball coach here on 1310 WDPN. I was able to, we did call your Central game over there a couple of weeks ago, and the great environment there. And I finally got because you're so close to the floor there, not only you guys, but even the media upstairs were like right there. So I was just blown away with the athleticism, the quickness. Like, I knew Giorgio was good. I knew Isaiah was good. I know Jadis is good. But to see these guys in person, Coach, and just how skilled they are, man. There was times where it literally took my breath away watching them play.
Well, it could have been that in the 80 degrees and humid temperature we had in the gym that night too. So, I mean, yeah, that night was actually interesting. I know Central is a much different team when they're at 100%, and they were getting back their guys, but they weren't at 100%. So we got lucky that night that they missed some shots. But I think some of that was our tempo. I see fatigue kind of leaking into them late in that first half, and definitely in the second half. And so, yeah, that definitely having some guys that can get up and down the floor like that, and we're blessed to have 6 or 7 guys that can all handle the basketball. And I've told people, years like this was probably one of the highest, if not the highest, basketball IQ teams I've ever had as a coach or been around as a coach. And just the not necessarily just intelligence, but like just knowing where to cut, where to go, next pass should go, instincts, I guess, more than anything. And they're used to playing together, so there's a synergy there that they just kind of instinctually do. And when it, like Sunday, we had it going, it happens, and it's very easy as a coach because you're not calling a lot, you're just kind of talking to them during dead balls and getting the rotations going, and keeping guys fresh. So it can be a fun group when they get it going like that.
Coach, style of play always comes up at this time of the year. Are you guys comfortable? Obviously you can run up and down. Are you comfortable half court? Are you comfortable 3/4 court, handling pressure when it comes out of the pressing from the other side when it comes out of the blue? Are you comfortable with playing all styles of ball to get you where you want to go?
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because I told our guys we've almost seen every defense known to man this year. With just teams trying to throw different stuff at us and different styles. Even look at the Perry game. Coach Voel's a great coach, and definitely they tried to slow things down and kind of keep that tempo with them being a little shorthanded that night. So we saw that. Our game with Fitch was a little bit of a slugfest. Definitely with the Warren was a slugfest. It always is. And then you get in a game like CBCA was the track meet. Obviously our game with Alliance was a slugfest. Two teams just going at each other. So we've seen different things. I do believe that we're capable of playing in all those styles. We've seen some pressure, luckily, again, blessed to have a lot of guys can handle the basketball. So we've been there before where you have 1 or 2 guys and you get pressed, you start to get stressed a little bit. But our guys do a good job against, that and figuring out the changing defenses. So, and it's good for us because, come tournament time, there's a wrinkle coming at you that you haven't seen before. And so I would say that, we prefer to play, a full court, up and down game, but we've also even ourselves that have modified some things and played in a half court at times. So you got to be able to be adaptable and be a chameleon this time of year as a team. And, I think our guys are capable of doing that.
Good stuff. Well, Coach, I promised you I'd get you out by 3:50. I lied. I got one more quick question I want to give to you.
Go for it. It's 3:49. You got time.
I know. I got a minute. And this is a fun one. Do you follow the Cavs? And if so, would you make that Garland for Harden trade or would you pull back?
It's funny, Smitty's sitting right next to me. He's a season ticket holder, and we were talking about that today. It's a tempting one just to find another guy with experience and they can handle the ball and get our guy off the ball. I'm going blank right now. Think about our game. Get Donovan Mitchell off the ball. Yeah. And I love Darius Garland when he's healthy, but he just hasn't been available. So we always tell our guys their best ability is availability. So I think they got to make a move some sort if they can improve themselves. With the East being kind of open this year, I'd probably do it. But yeah, I mean, there's some other guys out there I'd love to have too, but easier said than done. It's not NBA 2K.
Does one of those guys happen to wear number 34 for the Milwaukee Bucks? Would that be
Yeah.
If that happens, holy cow.
Hey, maybe it's going to be one of those double trades. We'll get, by Thursday. It'll be real interesting. But
right.
Yeah. You can dream. That's what Cleveland people do, right? Cleveland fans. We're always looking for that next big thing, right?
That's all we can do. Yep. All right, brother. It's 3:50. Hit the road. I'll see you. Appreciate you coming on. Good luck tonight, okay?
Appreciate it, Sam. Thank you.
You got it. Josh Hose, the Massillon Tiger head basketball coach, stopping by here on the show, 1310 WDP.